this man will headline the upcoming UFC Stockholm card when he takes on Alexander Gustafsson. He joins us now via Skype. Let's see him, Lionheart. There he is. Mr. Lionheart. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Luke. How are you?
Good. Are you in Stockholm?
I am.
How is it? First time in Sweden. Quite cold with all that flannel, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. It's cool, man. It's cool. The town center is really cool. The architecture is cool. It's got some cool brick streets and real cool looking buildings. And the people have been nice so far. They haven't attacked me or said mean things. I've been getting lots of fist bumps and people politely asking me not to win.
The Swedes seem like nice people.
Yeah. So far they've been pretty nice.
All right. Well, I appreciate you making some time for us and talking about this with us here. Let me start the interview. I was thinking about this and doing a bit of a preview. You know, you're both coming off of a loss to Jon Jones. Let's start with you. Now that you've had some time to digest everything and think about it, how do you look back on the Jones experience? Was it, yes, you lost the fight, but absent that, how do you weigh what you gained and what you lost there?
Man, I don't think I gained a whole lot. A lot of stress and driving myself crazy. I lost a lot of sleep. I don't really pick a whole lot of good things that came from the Jon fight, you know, and that's why I'm here in Sweden not that much longer later. I gotta shake that. I gotta get that shitty feeling out of my stomach.
What was it? Was it because you had headlined cards before? Now, not one that big, but was it you were consumed by the enormity of the moment and then you kind of lost yourself in the fight? Was it something else? How do you evaluate it?
I still can't. That's the problem. Like you said, I've been in plenty of main events. It didn't feel any different. You know, I mean, the media obligations were a little bit crazier. The you know, Vegas was pretty wild. You know, there was lots of fans and, you know, I got recognized a lot more, but other than that, man, it felt normal. Like the whole camp felt good. I think maybe if we're really going to split hairs, I think the training camp was a little bit too long. But I can't put my finger on anything. You know, the fight night, I felt good. Walking to the octagon, I felt good. Right before the fight started, I felt fine. And I was better than I'd ever been. Like I was sharp. I was on point. Everything was perfect. I don't know what happened.
So the camp this time, it's a different fighter, so it's going to be a different camp. So I'm not asking for changes. I guess what I'm asking for was the way you structured the camp different as a result of tweaking things in response to the Jon fight?
Well, just because of the timeline, it was obviously shorter. So I actually think that was a little bit more beneficial. You know, when I started this camp, it was almost like I hadn't lost anything. You know, I took a few weeks to just process it and just be normal for a couple of weeks. But from day one, I almost picked right back up where I left off with the Jon fight, which isn't normal. So that's not typically a normal thing. So, you know, it's like we just extended it. It's like I took a couple of weeks and then just kept on going. You know, nothing really changed.
Now, I think it was Aaron Bronstetter who pointed this out over at TSN. I want to make sure I give him credit. Since 2016, he's had 3 fights. You've had 11. So this will be his 4th. This will be your 12th. Any lesson to infer from that?
No, you know, I guess I don't really know what to think of that. You know, I guess I didn't realize he was that inactive. You know, I guess just generally I know that he doesn't fight that often. I guess I didn't realize it was that bad. I mean, maybe that just means I fight too much. I don't know.
I suppose that's one lesson to draw. Here's the one thing I've been thinking about. It's impossible for me to know exactly what the last fight will mean. I tend to think there's probably more benefits to it than you realize, but who the hell knows, right? The one thing I do think about, though, is with respect to the fight is, well, how many times have you been working with Mark Montoya? Which fight, how many numbers does this fight make?
Andrew Sanchez, Hector Lombard, Tiago, Rashad, Vulcan, John. This is 7.
Oh, yeah. So you guys have to be in a rhythm at this point then.
Yeah. Well, especially as often as I'm there, I'm almost like a full-time teammate. Things are going well. They really are. Like, my mindset changed a lot this whole training camp, and I think that's been the biggest difference. But as far as the structure of training and all that stuff, Mark keeps a pretty tight ship, so everything's pretty much stayed the same.
Okay, 2 things then. A lot of times guys after a loss, now typically it comes from a bad loss. You did not have a bad, when I say bad loss, I mean like a knockout or a submission, right? Or they just get thoroughly dominated or something,
Right.
like a terrible beating, which you did not get. But they'll try and chase something. So for example, Michael Bisping gets choked out by St. Pierre, tries to fight Kelvin Gastelum soon thereafter, and it's a horrible end to things. Now that was different. He got finished. It was a much closer approximation, but still they're chasing something to wash it out, whether or not the next step is inadvisable or not. Any concerns that might be in play here, or do you feel like this is still strategic and considered enough of a process to not have those concerns bear upon you?
I mean, excuse me. I don't have any of those concerns. Now, if anyone else does have them, they haven't voiced them. But I'm not chasing a win. I think that's the difference. I'm not chasing the win at all. I haven't even thought about the fight in a win versus loss situation, or what this does for title contention, or where this puts me in the rankings. Hasn't even crossed my mind. So I do think that some of those guys are chasing a win to get that bad taste out of their mouth, and that's not what I'm doing.
So you mentioned there was a bit of a switch in mind frame for the camp. Can you share more about what that means?
I'm chasing a performance. That's all I want. To be honest with you, I don't give a what happens in the fight. I want to perform, and that's it. I want to hit him as many times as I possibly can. I want to punch what I can punch. I want to kick what I can kick, and if he gets too close, I'll drag him to the ground. And if he gets up, I'll do it again. That's all I want to do. I just want to perform. That's it. That's as far as my mind has gone. And after that, we'll see what happens. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But it's not even about Alex. This is about me. This is about wanting to take a break, but I can't do it with this burning feeling in my stomach. I just need to go. I have this feeling. I just need to destroy something. So whatever happens in the interim, it doesn't matter to me. I just need to get this feeling out of my stomach, and it's driving me crazy. It keeps me up at night. I just don't give a shit. If it could be Alex, it could have been 10 other guys in the division. It doesn't matter. I mean, clearly I'm a professional, so we're obviously aware of where he's good and where he potentially isn't, and we want to get to those areas. But there's no game plan. Like the last 2 fights, I think I just got a little bit too intricate with the game plans, and I think it makes me think too much. And I'm an instinctual fighter and always have. So I think that maybe I got away from kind of what brought me to the dance a little bit. And I'm the pressure guy that gets in your face and swings hammers. And that's what got me here. And, I could be the super clean striker that's really pretty and the oohs and ahs everybody, but that's like deep down in my heart, that's not who I am. And I think that I don't know, maybe I was trying to be something that I'm not. I have the abilities to do that. I think that at this level of the game, I think we all have the ability to fight like that, but I think it really comes down to who you are as a person. And that's just not who I am. And I don't think that that's a secret. So there is no game plan. It's to just react. And most of the time, my instincts are correct. And I just want to do what feels right in the moment and not hold myself back so much and stop trying to think so much and just fight.
Is that what you did in the Shogun and Rashad fights? No, the Rashad fight was so short that it's hard to say, right? But maybe in the Shogun fight, you just kind of felt like, I'm going to bomb on him wherever we go?
That's exactly how we went into the Shogun fight, because we didn't have enough time. I took it on 8 days notice or something. So there was really no time to overthink it or try to come up with some sweet game plan that was going to wow the world. It was just go in and just do what feels right. And again, we were aware of where Shogun's dangerous and where we kind of wanted to stay away from. But outside of that, it just react. And I've been doing this so long that you're not going to throw anything that I'm not going to see. So I guess I don't know why I wanted to get away from being so instinctual and just kind of fighting on the fly. But if it's do that and risk, getting caught or something bad happening or feeling how I felt after the Jon fight, I'll risk getting caught every day.
That's interesting. So you actually felt worse after the Jon fight than you did maybe, let's say, after the Thiago Santos fight. Now, not the weight cut part, but because you two went out there and just murdered each other for a good long while. You kind of gave him what you had, and then
Right.
the tank was on E and whatever. But is that a fair assessment?
That's 100% fair. I left Brazil with my head held high because I left it in there. I fought my ass off and obviously it didn't go my way. And there's factors that go into that, like you said, the weight cut and the travel and all that stuff. But I didn't lose sleep over the Thiago fight. Although I know I could win that fight, that I should have won that fight, and that I think we run that back again. I think it looks totally different. I didn't have that shitty feeling because I know that taking into account what I had to give for that performance before the fight even started, I gave everything I had. That was all I had left. And in the Jon fight, that didn't happen. I left there feeling like I could have fought another 10 rounds. I had a lot more to give, and that's a terrible feeling to have.
So without getting too much into any kind of game plan, being that there might not even be one, nevertheless, I'd like to talk about Alex. And I know what you're probably going to say. Like, say what?
I said there's not. I'm not lying to you. There is no game plan.
Okay. Nevertheless, though, you are aware of what he is good at as an opponent. Let me ask you this question. My judgment, for whatever that is worth, maybe not much, he seems much better as a matador than a bull. Do you agree or disagree?
I 100% agree.
Does that all affect how you want to fight him?
Well, no, not really. I think I'm a better bull than a matador, so it happens to work out in my favor. At least in my opinion. That's my opinion. There's only one way we're going to find out, and that's just a few days away. So I think that Alex clearly has really good footwork. He starts everything with his jab. He's got a nasty rear uppercut. He's got a nasty left hand when he switches to southpaw. But other than that, with absolutely no disrespect, I don't see anything else to worry about. He's not a big kicker. He's not a great offensive wrestler. He's not a jiu-jitsu guy that's going to take you down and smash past your guard. He's not going to butterfly sweep you or any kind of sweep for that matter. He's very basic, and so am I. So I'm not saying that as a knock on him. But he's very limited at what he's really, really good at, and it's done him well for a very long time. He's very good at what he does. He's long. His movement, I'm sure at times will be very annoying because he just doesn't stop. You never get a beat on him. We've seen him frustrate several people. So I know what to expect. There's no questions going. He's not Jon Jones where you never know what that fucking guy might do. There's no questions of what I'm going to get myself into on Saturday.
Do your coaches? You might not have a game plan. Do you think your coaches have a game? Because I talked to Mark. I just feel like somewhere in the back of his pocket, there's a little tiny game plan about how he might even Jedi mind trick you in terms of steering you one direction or another. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a game plan though. Mark is good at. I'm not one of those guys where you have to beat this game plan into my head over and over and over for 10 weeks to get it to work. If Mark sees something in the fight, he'll call it and I'll do it. And I don't question it. So if he says, whatever he sees, I'll just do it immediately without questioning it or wanting to see it myself. That's the problem. A lot of guys hear what their corners are saying, but they don't necessarily see it themselves. So they don't have the confidence to just go and do whatever that specific technique might be because they don't see it themselves, which I can't disagree with. It depends on what kind of person you are, but I trust Mark. So if Mark says it's there, it's there. And that's, I would imagine there will be a lot of that going on where he'll see something, he'll call it and I'll do it. And I just perform better that way. I perform better just by hearing whatever he wants to do. And I just do it. It takes my thought process out of it and I just go. It really dumbs it down to the bare basics of fighting. you say it, I do it.
So much of your 2018 and 2017 was built towards getting out there and getting a title shot, and then you got it and you were dissatisfied with how everything went. What is 2019 about?
2019 is going to be a restart, because as long as this goes the way I think it's going to go, you won't see me until 2019. So I'd like to get this one out of the way and keep my promise to my family that I'm not even considering fighting until the winter time. So I hope that the very beginning of the year we can just take that break and just reset, and then just figure out what everything looks like then. I just want to take a step back and let the division develop. Like, they're not going to give me a title shot right away, and that's fine. I have no problem earning it and having to fight again. That's not a problem. But it'd be nice to let the division develop a little bit and just pull myself out of it for a little while. Sometimes I feel like maybe the fans are a little bit overexposed. Like, they're like, Jesus Christ, like, this guy's here again. Like, they just keep seeing my face. So I think maybe pulling myself out of it a little bit and just letting other shit happen. And then maybe people will be excited to see me again, instead of like, oh, here he is again,
What do you want to do with your time off? You want to paint? You want to read books? You want to write books?
No, man, I am so excited to get home. My kids are out of school the day before the fight, that Friday. And I'm going to hook my camper up to my truck, and we're going to get the four-wheelers and the side-by-sides, and we're just going to pull it all over the country. I can't wait. We got like 5 trips planned, and then just keep on dragging it around in between.
What do you have in the camper? Like, what's the Anthony Smith rules of the road for the camper?
Rules of the road for the camper. Usually behind the camper, there's going to be a side-by-side and some four-wheelers. Inside of it, there's probably going to be lots of beer, lots of yard games, a bunch of steaks, and probably packed full of kids' toys until we park and have to pull them all out.
Well, I got to tell you, that doesn't sound too bad, my friend. Enjoy Stockholm. Hopefully you get a chance to go look around. Probably going to be in a bird on the way home right after it's over, which who could blame you? I'm looking forward to Saturday, man. I think it's a big fight for both of you. It's an interesting test case for both of you as well, and I'm excited. Have fun.
If I'm being okay, if we're being honest here,
yeah.
How do you feel about the fight?
I feel like now, excuse me. I feel like now is the right time for you to fight him, because I don't know what kind of Alex we're gonna get. Like, I don't want to overstate things. He's going to be in the show a little bit later. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but something, I don't know. I just didn't like his energy coming off that second Jon fight, and I could be completely wrong. I am not Miss Cleo, not a body language expert, but I think you discount a lot of what happened in the Jon fight in terms of some of the tools you might have put together that might bring yourself to bear here. And I like your chances, to be candid. On the other hand, if Gustafsson is the kind of one we saw against Jon the first time, you got your hands full, man. So it's really, I don't know. This hinges on what that second Jon fight did to him, because he's like, I'm not even thinking about the title. If I can't beat Anthony Smith, I'm going to retire. I don't know if that means he's going to be super fired up, or if he is saying to himself, the ambitions that I had are no longer relevant, and that can be a lot for a fighter to weigh on.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So that's it, man. We'll see. But I'm looking forward to it one way or the other, because I know you two are going to get after it. I know that.
Oh, that's for sure, man. There's no doubt about that. I'm coming, and he's in his hometown. He's gonna come out hot. His heart rate's gonna be high. He's got his friends and family and fans and the whole damn country behind him, man. I'm excited.